Right, it was just 2. Any of the miners done anything exciting? Ukraine's built up the entire game for Russia. Ukraine's done nothing, really. Oh, they took Poland. Ukraine is just waiting for their game against the Russians. Bulgaria's expanded pretty nicely. But most of the early stuff against the Balkan stuff was actually Austria. Sweden's been quiet, and they've expanded a little bit. Australia, we've seen nothing from. A little bit of naval. Like, I would actually say it's the Australian submarines that have been effective here. Siam, we've seen a fair amount from. Siam has basically been everywhere. Philippines, we've not seen much from, but they're quite small. Spain did the nice attack on Morocco, but then were pushed back by the French Republic. Ireland, we've seen very little from. Germany's been solid, but the way their faction's set up, they've not had a real chance to shine. I mean, it's thanks to Germany's tenaciousness that France hasn't made any breakthroughs. And France has been pretty well set up to do that. But Germany's just not given them the opportunity. But anyway, I think that we've got the 5 nations now. So it's going to be Austria, USA, Republican France, Siam, and Bulgaria. So the vote is going to start right now. So make sure you go to the vote. It's there at the top of chat. And I'm curious to see which is the stream's favourite player. Get your votes in. Vote, vote, vote. Obviously, Socialist Italy isn't getting anything. Except for a lot of flack, maybe. Check the VOD. 2 tanks were encircled. 2 were 1 province east of Dunkirk. Yeah, that's what I thought, because they're right there. So vote, vote, vote. Get your votes in. This is your opportunity to make it clear which you think were the most favourite of your players. Austria, USA, Republican France, Siam, or Bulgaria. And Republican France is Entente France, just to make that clear. Because it's also known as National France, and the Kingdom of France, and the Empire of France. It has many names. Meanwhile, the heavy tanks are now attacking into Ghent, trying to retake their little bit of Belgian territory. This is just like the First World War again. I mean, they may as well have just set up trenches and fought over that for 4 years. 5 years. So about 30 seconds left on the vote. Get your votes in. Vote, 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 vote. And then I will pass on stream favourite to the admin so that they know. I just noticed we have no sound again. The deadening silence and just the fan going off in the background. Okay, so the stream favourite has come through, and in last place we have the USA with 7% of the vote. In fourth place we have Bulgaria with 10. Then we have Siam with 20%, actually joint second alongside the Republic of France, but in a pretty overwhelming lead we have Austria with 40% of the vote today. So I'm just going to make a screenshot of that and then grab... I just realised I spelt favourite wrong. And nobody noticed. Or maybe you did, you're just too polite to say anything. Thanks, chat. And then I will send that off to the 1-2. Okay, and I've also been told to take a look at Italy's industry. The admins were saying that Italy has made some interesting decisions when it comes to their industry. So we're going to take a look at their construction. They're currently doing fuel refineries. Okay. Their industry... 71 factories? The hell have they been building? Have they just been doing refineries? No. Did they do my thing of building up infrastructure everywhere? No. Have we ever repeat of Canada? Eight naval dockyards, 38 militaries, 24 civilian. Maybe because of focus? Oh, Reichspakt just declared war on Norway. Did they go forts? Against whom? No, no forts here. Air bases? No different from usual. Actually, these are pretty big air bases. Then again, maybe not. How bad is their industry? 164, 166, 328, 115, 214. Yeah, they have basically no factories. I don't think they've been building anything. Oh! Oh! So apparently Italy builds up their industry through the economic policy decisions, and he hasn't taken any of them. So that's why he's so far behind. And they don't even cost anything. It's just a thing you can do once at a time, I guess, as Italy. This sounds to me like a newer Italy... to be fair, I wouldn't have known this either. But I would at least have checked my focuses. And had I seen this, I would have been like, click, 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 click. Because industry is incredible. Yeah, 800 political power? He hasn't even taken any of these, let alone the free ones. Oof. Oof. Yeah, okay. Now I understand. That's a pretty big whoopsie. Right, because I haven't looked for a while, we should go and have a look at India. Here we go. So, India is looking contained. The USA has indeed taken my advice to secure the attack here. They are attacking to try and get a cut-off. Quite a few units there, including Russian tanks. Jaipur is about to be taken. Agra is about to be retaken. Delhi is being recaptured. And they've basically secured these borders, although India lost a bunch of land for basically no reason. It does look like they've tried to kind of like consolidate their forces, but losing this much good defensive territory is a massive mistake. Meanwhile, the French naval invasion has been a complete success. Insular India has fallen. There's basically no Japanese forces here. Okay, I'll be honest. I had not expected the Entente to be attacking. I'd expected the Co-Prosperity Sphere to be doing naval invasions against Australia, but that clearly hasn't happened. And is it because Japan is still not doing ships? Yes. Yes, it is. So I did, like, raise some concerns last week when I saw how little naval stuff Y-Man was doing as the Union of Britain. Y-Man is now Japan, with probably even more important naval duties, particularly for controlling Southeast Asia. He clearly hasn't learned from his mistakes there. And I don't feel harsh saying that, because I've made no secret of it last time. He doesn't like ships. Well, he shouldn't be playing as Japan, then. It's not exactly a secret that Japan is the naval player for the Co-Pro. Maybe he is their best naval guy. Oh, maybe? Okay, I'm curious. Like, Siam has only got 5 boats. They're not really able to do very much. Who else is on their side? Russia? Russia has at least split out the submarines. But again, not doing very much. Yeah, it doesn't look like any of the Co-Pro are at all interested in ships at all. Oh! Oh! China! I suddenly like China a lot more, because they are actually, and he could really do with informing Japan that this option exists. Escort duty. I mean, it's only off the coast of China, but hey, it's something. And it's only 10 ships, but hey, that's more escort work than I've seen of Japan with its mighty navy. So, well played, China. Happy Mordred noises. Yeah, I'm easy to please. But no, did they really? Oh yeah. They've even got one. He's not a very good one, but 5 political power to recruit a new one. Well, actually, no. For China, I actually kind of get that. You should use your old guard regardless, because you have an admiral, and he was, what, level 3? But China does need to be spending a lot of political power on integrations. So of all of the nations to be a little bit concerned about spending 5 political power, yeah, I get it, China. I get it. China for new favourite and award of Mordred's own. Meanwhile, we have got Sweden attacking into Norway. Do we have anybody trying to defend Norway? I don't think anyone even can. I think everyone's at war at this point. We have Third International ships trying to throttle the Russians. We have a Austrian invasion pushing into a bit of the territory here, although they are then pulling back again. Not really trying to make much use there. We have an SRI naval invasion of the Dalmatian coast. SRI. Please tell me you're guarding that. Adriatic. Nope. So the SRI supply can be basically completely cut off by anybody stationing any convoy raiding in the Adriatic, and that's quite a few troops, especially if they're artillery heavy units. 15 units caught in the port. Right now, they have nowhere to retreat to, and this army is winning, and as soon as they're dead, they are dead. That is a port. Okay, that was my other thing to check. Those 13, did they get out? Nope, he just lost another 13 stack, I think. Oh no, they escaped. But please, somebody with submarines in here. Anybody. Austria. You've actually been fairly decent with your ships. Oh, you didn't have the Adriatic covered. Mistake! Probably worried about naval bombers, but I haven't really seen anyone doing that. But it does look like the SRI is being kicked out there. In my opinion, unless Co-Pro makes a strong attack on the Reichspakt, this is Reichspakt's game to lose. I would kind of agree with you there. They've shown pretty good capacity to work together. They've got Austria, who's a fairly strong micro player. They've got Germany, who's just unbelievably tenacious and actually quite good at like managing multiple different things. They have Sweden and Bulgaria, who are kind of on the edges, just chipping away at other countries, just growing ever bigger. They've got the Ukraine, who's dedicated the entire game to fighting against Russia, and Russia currently is busy with India. They have basically been pushed out of India. India at this point is somewhat secure. I think that Russian heavy tanks could probably still do a real number on this defense. Particularly because the defense is now a width of 1 province instead of 20 provinces of supply sapping territory. But there does seem to be an awful lot of better working together for these guys. And that's a lot of convoy raiding going on against the Japanese and the Siam. Philippines. We haven't actually looked at the Philippine fleet. That's because they don't have one. India's done a great defensive fight. I don't agree that they've done a great defensive fight. Considering the number of divisions they had in the field, this was their war to lose. They've held on. I would have expected a little bit more from the USA. I was expecting American heavy tanks to be here rolling back the lines. The other thing that we have not spent much time looking at is Air Force. Because we do know, like, as much as I berate Wyman for his naval inaptitude, he's a pretty good air controller. And it does look like they're doing pretty well in the skies over India. Though that doesn't seem to be helping them this time. Although red air for them. So then again, I could be wrong. This is all enemy planes. We do have 2,000 in the Himalayas, but that's mostly because the Entente is actually pushing back now. Who was the Entente air? It's Canada, isn't it? Curious to see if their entire air force is here. Most of them are actually in northern India, so they're not contesting the Himalayas at all. But these are the important areas, and it looks like Canada's got that pretty well locked down. Oh, but Russia. Russia's actually made a big breakthrough against the French here. Pushing across the desert, pushing across Baghdad into Saudi Arabia. What's Russia using for this? Heavy tanks and infantry. Mostly just infantry. It's only this one heavy that's in that area. And the French do seem to be getting pretty beaten up at the moment. They're taking a huge amount of damage. And France, of all the nations in the Entente, the one that cannot afford manpower losses. And that's the reason. They run out very quickly. So I'd quite like to see some American forces here reinforcing as well. I mean, I get it. America's busy over here, currently pushing the Chinese back, but they've done it. Like, the Chinese are back in the Himalayas. India, pretty secure now. They need to fight the next fire. Meanwhile, Caribbean naval invasions continue on apace and are getting absolutely butchered. Please tell me if those are under Canada's control. No, these are actually Caribbean. Okay. Start Lend-Lease request. Oh, start Lend-Lease from them, not a request for Lend-Lease. I think everyone's basically starting to wind down for the end of the session. We've got 6 minutes to go. How many convoys does Japan have left? 263 of the 500. So they still have a fair number spare. But they could spend the time building destroyers and actually getting some power projection going, instead of just losing them. Because Japan's enemies, especially because it's Japan, can have a pretty easy time pushing all of that back. Plus, Japan's just lost their team their access to rubber and oil. I mean, right now they're doing okay, but they are Are they buying that fuel in? Yeah, they are, from Russia. Right, Russia is the Caucasus. But Japan's still got to import that with convoys. So as soon as anyone's submarines start going after the Japanese home islands, it's over for them. If Japan gets robbed of the fuel, that means the air controller is robbed of fuel. The way the Entente handled the co-prosperity is very impressive, stark contrast to last time. I agree. This Entente's been strong. I think that right now this is going to be a showdown between the Entente and Reichspakt. I think that Third Internationale has basically spent all of the advantages they may once have had and have not won the early war, which they need to do. I think that Co-Pro has gotten themselves bogged down too much. They could still pull this one back, but I think their weak link right now is Japan, and how easy Japan would be to blockade. And once Japan's blockaded, they lose their air. Yeah, they still got lots of manpower, but we've seen the damage that having no air does. Entente, basically untouchable. They seem to be relatively good with their navies. Very good coordination between the players. I think Reichspakt coordination's probably better, at least from what we've seen. So yeah, I'm rating Entente versus Reichspakt right now. Although, if we take a look at the score sheet, we can see that right now there's a tie. So the Reichspakt and Third Internationale are both on 3 points. The Entente is on 2 and Co-Pro has 0. So if the Entente can steal a couple of points, and cheeky naval invasions can definitely do that, then Entente's in with a very solid chance. They're only a point behind the other two. Oh, I see Co-Pro tried to take Delhi, which was one of the Entente points. If Japan's navy was well-handed, Co-Pro is in a strong position. I mean, they were. I think that position has been massively weakened now that they've lost Indonesia. I don't think that they're out of this completely, but they really need to wake up that their navy needs to do something. Delhi's 3 points? No, it's not a major capital, it's a minor. I think it's just 1, maybe 2. But yeah, tomorrow I'm kind of expecting to see a Austrian invasion of France. Actually, no. Tomorrow I'm expecting to see an Austrian invasion of Italy, because I think that Italy is the weak link in their faction. I'm expecting to see many more heavy tank attacks into Belgium from the French. I haven't looked at the Union of Britain's naval situation for a while, because they seem to be doing this fairly competently. They've got their important shipping zones well secured. They are using convoy escort, so their shipping lanes are open. They're getting their fuel supplies and everything that they need. And if they are projecting that properly, then France should be able to import. And France's chromium issue is not resolved, but improved. And it actually looks like they have a fair number of openings. So I think the Union of Britain's actually starting to maybe save their faction. Their navy is still unused. Their navy is unused. Austria's been good with their navy. You know what? I'm going to have to hand that award for best naval plays to Austria. I haven't had a look at Germany. Okay, Germany's pretty well organised. I mean, previously he had all of his ships lumped up into this top line, but he has now separated them out. Not great use of admirals. Like all of these submarines, no admiral. Recons, he can do that in just 1 task force. A pre-dreadnought and submarines. I wonder if that's a mistake. Okay, he's doing something with his ships. He's also building a bunch of destroyers, but has not deployed them anywhere. Probably waiting for some kind of naval invasion, which the destroyers would then need to protect. Cheat says major capital for Delhi. Okay, stand correct. Which basically means you're never going to invade USA and Canada, so we're going to give the big points to the other two capitals instead. Yeah.
Slovakia didn't get annexed. Hungary accepted my fucking thing, and then I got attacked by fucking...
Alright, that concludes day 1, guys. Thank you for joining us. So we're starting at the same time tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me.
Remember to be on time.
Yeah, I was making 18 per day, and then I'm like getting rated.
Is it
Yeah.
9 tomorrow, right?
Alright, well, that's...
Sorry, what was the question?
Tomorrow we start at 9 PT,
Time of
right?
day, at the same time. So
Okay,
whatever time we started today for you, it's the same time tomorrow.
gotcha. Do work.
Okay, so that was the end of the game. They were just informing me there. I wanted to tell you, Flame Fang asked me to say that the new Kaiserreich update is out. So if you want to play Kaiserreich, you can do so. The update includes, I think, a complete rework of Romania. That was released half an hour ago, something like that. So it's brand new. And I said that I would use my time here on stream to say, go play it. It's there, it's available. There are other tweaks and updates. I haven't had a chance yet to see exactly what those are, so I don't know for myself. But anyway, thank you everyone for watching. I do hope you have enjoyed this. If you have, be sure to hit that follow button so you get notifications when we are live again in the future, which is tomorrow, 5 PM British summertime, for a continuation of the grand final of this Kaiserreich Weekly tournament. If you are really enjoying this and want to support the channel further, then please do consider subscribing. Nope, sorry, give me a second. Then please do consider subscribing. Helps the channel out that way, or you can of course check out the Patreon. I do also have a Discord, which is where the community hangs out. They're a cool bunch, and it's always a real pleasure to see some new faces there. So please do come join us. Say hello. You'd be more than welcome. Anyway, that's it for me for now. We will see you all tomorrow, 5 PM. Until then,